Hola, bom dia. I am Dragana Boras, Senior Product Marketing Manager of Confluence. And of course, if you guys haven't figured it out by now, Claire and I work at Atlassian. So in case you don't know, Atlassian is the creator of team collaboration software with awesome products like Jira, our project management tool, and Confluence, which is an open and shared workspace where your entire team can go in and collaborate and build off of these great ideas. So think about Confluence as a place where you go in to create documents, or in our words, pages, and you go in there, share with your team, they provide feedback, and this is really your one go-to place to create and build amazing ideas and bring them to life.
Awesome. Thank you. Handing the baton. So my name is Claire Drumond, and I run product content strategy for Jira, which, can I get a show of hands of people that use or know of Jira? Woo! Woo. Yes. Don't tell me if you like it or not. I don't want to know. I am not accepting feature requests today. So Dragana and I are really excited to be here. Thank you for having us. We are going to talk to you guys today about how you can actually bring Agile practices to your extended team. So let's start here with a big number, 93%. Very impressive number. Oh, wrong way. 93% of all online experiences start with search. So another quick show of hands. How many of you know what SEO, search engine optimization, is? Wow, that's awesome. How many of you guys actually do it? That's about right. So I don't have to tell you then the definition, but SEO is basically a set of tactics that people like myself, marketers, use in order to make sure that your content shows up on the first page of a Google search results page or other search engine. And this is really important. This is the Jira SERP, what we call search engine's result page is also called a SERP. And as you can see, it looks really lovely, except it's our old logo, which I'm repping today. But every single one of these links up here is there by design. So a marketer has influence over pretty much everything that shows up on this page. However, every once in a while, something unsavory shows up. And I do not work for TechCrunch, so there's not much I can do about this. Well, that's not true. There is something I can do about it. If I'm looking at this search engine results page on a regular basis, there are certain techniques that I can do to push TechCrunch down, short of calling them and saying, look, guys, this isn't cool. But they don't really care. So the reason why the search engine results page is really important is because your product experience starts here, not with the sign-up form. So most people build products from the sign-up form on, but actually in reality, the first touch with your customer experience is on the search engine results page. And that means that you need to include marketing in your conversations about building your customer journey. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because you guys are mostly product managers and designers, from what I hear. Is that true? For the most part? Are there any marketers in the room? A few? Ooh. Awesome. That's great. So what we found at Atlassian is that our product managers were the linchpin, the single point of contact to bring the voice of the customer and also the entire journey prior to the sign-up form. The product manager was the glue for all of that. They're in charge of being the business, the voice of the business side. And the reality was that actually our product managers are more of an extension of engineering. So how do you connect these two things? How do you connect the business and voice of the customer side of your customer journey to the in-product side of it? So this is a website that was built in 2001, which you can tell. Text, all HTML. Awesome image. So turns out that this is actually an age-old problem. How do you connect the business with the engineering side? And actually, that's why Agile was formed. And so the Agile Manifesto as you can read up here, has 4 principles that are really important. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. So from the Agile Manifesto, several frameworks were built in order to allow product teams to develop using these principles in mind. However, in the evolution of Agile, these frameworks became more of a doctrine. So if there's somebody who is very, very passionate about Scrum, and you say, yeah, I tried Scrum, it doesn't work for my team, they'll probably tell you it's because you're doing it wrong. So Scrum and Kanban and Lean, I'm sure a lot of you have either used it or are trying to do it. But the reason why this happened is because originally software development was done in waterfall, and it took a very long time in order to get your product to market, and by that time, the market had already changed. Now, the reason why I'm going through this history lesson is because Agile, the core of Agile, has really changed over time. And so if we actually strip away all the frameworks and everything else that comes with it, we go back to the original principle. Business people and developers must work together daily on a project. So as we have evolved, product managers have taken on a very large role. And product management, this is from a survey done by Hired.com for the key skills that a product manager has to have. And if you take a look at this, marketing, SEO, is not on here. It's about developer languages, agile methodologies, data management, which is totally fine. But is it really realistic to ask our product managers to understand everything about marketing and everything about development? Probably not. That's why you need collaboration. So this is something that has come from Y Combinator. I don't know if you guys use it, if you're familiar with it, but it's basically a triad. And as you can see, the PM sits here in the middle and is the one that's trying to connect the support and ops to the marketing side. And what we've developed with this triad is that a dev manager, a design manager, and a PM sit together and they make decisions, and they become kind of like the core product team. Well, what we found is that this didn't work very well for us. So, Dragana?
So we thought about is how do we make this work? How we go beyond this make triad and really bring in the marketing, bring in the design, bring in more of like the entire extended team into this make triad. So bring them earlier on into the product planning and development cycle. Well, it really does take 3 key things. The first one is to create transparency, so really give everyone access to all of the pertinent information they will need to get up on any project at any time. Then it comes with fostering this entire sense of collaboration. So having a shared workspace where all of your stakeholders can collaborate, pull their ideas together, and provide feedback to one another. And of course, you can't do this without the right set of tools. You really need a centralized tool set where all your work is created, managed, and stored. Naturally, at Atlassian, for us, that does mean Confluence and Jira. It's why Claire and I are here. And actually, a great example of this all at work and how we make it happen at Atlassian is on my Confluence team. So this summer, we launched an amazing new look for Confluence Cloud. So this is the old, and you'll see it transform into the new. As you can see, many moving pieces, many folks involved, which means launches are not easy. They're really hard, and there was a lot of things we had to do to make this happen. So, as with anything Atlassian, it all starts with a page for us. I'll get to this really big number soon, but we started creating a bunch of pages to pull together all our work, to track all of the planning we were doing and everything. And in fact, my lead PM created 263 pages of her own on our new cloud instance to just plan this process. Can you imagine trying to follow a launch and only one person has created 263 pages you should follow? Yeah, it was so staggering. We had a Confluence cruise party and we gave her an award for it. So we quickly learned this wasn't going to work, and we thought about what has worked for us. Well, at Atlassian, every team works with some form of agile methodology in mind. Our dev teams participate in daily stand-ups. Our PMs manage their complex projects with Scrum. And marketing and design, well, believe it or not, we actually plan and work in weekly sprints. Yep, you heard that right. My marketing team actually goes in, submits Jira tickets, tracks their work, and does this for our design team as well. I know, it's crazy, marketing in Jira, but it's happening. And really, it's all about creating this whole notion of work visibility. So it's about being aware of what's happening when and what stage it's in. And it's also about being able to know who's responsible for what, so you can get caught up quickly and easily and go directly to the source. As you can tell, I had a ticket. It was create keynote presentation for Productized with Claire. Pretty sure now I can move that into the done column now. Safe? And so when we started thinking about this launch, and I started having weekly meetings with my product manager, and we were discussing, she said, of course, we're going to have to update our onboarding. We're going to have to refresh the documentation, and we'll make sure to have the right in-product messaging for our users to see. I said, yeah, no brainer. Those are all extremely important things that we're going to have to happen. And then I said something which seemed really crazy to her. I said, well, we're also going to have to send out some emails and write some blog posts, do some Twitter and Facebook posts to really make our users aware of what's happening. And she just looked at me and said, nobody reads email anymore. She said, why would we do this? Who cares? And I said, well, I care, and let's just try it out. Luckily, she trusted me, and people really did care. What we saw was that more than 44% of the people opened the email, clicked through to the documentation, and really wanted to learn more about how they were going to be able to use it. As you saw, it was a complete redesign. And then we went ahead and made it public. Of course, Twitter, Facebook, it was everywhere. And what we saw was it started from not-so-friendly comments where people were freaking out and were afraid of what was happening and saying, oh, God, the new Confluence is horrible. After this communication went live, we all of a sudden got, ooh la la, Confluence got a makeover, loved a fresh new facelift, loving the look. So all of a sudden, everyone's perspective changed, and I can tell you, I was in our daily stand-ups with our devs just to see their thought process, and their feelings changed too. Finally, people were loving what we had worked so hard on. And what we also did to make this a success was create pages where we can track all of this work. So here's a Confluence page for all of you that have never seen one before. And what you see here is a lot of awesome integrations with Jira, right? So we can see at any time what stage any of these tickets are in, what stage the features, or really any activities that we're working on are in. And when that gets updated in Jira, it's automatically refreshed in Confluence, so everyone knew what was happening. People also had the whole work responsibility. So we knew who was responsible for what, and they knew what had to be done and who would have to approve it to make sure it goes into the next step. Here was also another page we created, which was to track all of our comms. As you can see, it links out to other Confluence pages if people want to get a deep dive, but once again, let's not follow 263 pages. Let's have a few key places where people can go and get caught up really quickly. All about transparency and collaboration. And as you can see, even I had another task, which was to get that email sent out, and yes, it did happen. And really, this way of working together where we had now marketing, product management, our technical writing team all in sync at the same time and making sure we were all working in a very agile manner helped us out a huge lot. When we launched the new Confluence, we also got some feedback about what the heck, what happened to this feature and that feature? And there were two key features we omitted, and we were like, oh shoot, let's go back and get this done. Well, we were able to launch those new two features in a month with all updated documentation and messaging because the PM wasn't the central linchpin anymore. We were all working together to make things happen and to make it a success. What did this do for us? We had a goal of having less than 5% of people opt out of the new look of Confluence. What we really got was an initial opt-out rate of only 1.1%. That decreased over time as we communicated to our customers and really made them aware of how they can use the new product more efficiently. And so what this really comes down to is that your make triad actually starts to look more like this, where the right roles come in at the right time to really make this triad. So it's not really about the PM or the marketer. It could be that it's the IX and the design team and the product management team working at a time, and then somewhere Claire and I will jump in and do our spiel as well, because really what it is every one of us is great at what we do. So I made sure our messaging looked great, our technical writers made sure the documentation was accurate, and our product team did what they do best, which is ship amazing products. And that's really what you guys have to think about.
So we're almost out of time, so I'm going to kind of breeze through this, but Atlassian has shipped something called the Team Playbook, which is basically a series of workshops that you could basically go on, sign up right now, and really the point is about building empathy. So it's really important to understand what other people bring to the table and bring them in early for a collaboration rather than a presentation. I won't go into this too much, but the roles and responsibilities play is something that I facilitated with my product marketing and product management team. This is my beautiful team right here. We were at a week-long offsite, surfing every single day, and then all of a sudden we ran this play, and I realized I had no idea what the other people did, and they didn't know what I did. And so after we ran this play, we had an incredible amount of empathy for each other, and we changed our processes, and now we're working together in actually more of like a squad than a triad, but that's just because that's what worked for us. So really the goal is to know what each of your team member outside of your triad does and bring them in, like I said, early for a collaboration rather than a presentation. So just to recap, when you want to bring Agile to your extended team, it's not necessarily about the frameworks, it's more about the culture of collaboration that you're building. Start early, and remember that your customer's experience starts all the way before the sign-up form to the search engine results page, and probably beyond that. Connect your business people with engineering on a daily basis, and build empathy across your team. And also remember that at the end of the day, all of us out here building products are building products for humans. Thank you very much. If you want to go to our product links or to find the team playbook, it's atlassian.com/teamplaybook. And you can check us out on Twitter. And also, I wrote a blog about this on Medium if you want to check that out. So, obrigada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.